Gold digger gets cheated on by think before you sleep. Let's just jump in. Also, since when was there? Oh yeah, the pride joke is in there in his YouTube profile as well. That's interesting. He usually doesn't put that in there. Anyways, let's go.
I heard that you don't know how to get spoiled by a man. I know that you guys need my help. That's why I'm here.
Right. The Wizard Liz is here to help women improve their relationships. As if there weren't enough low-quality people in the dating pool.
Oh god. Yeah, this is the Wizard Liz video. Get ready. It's gonna be outrageous. Be right back. Take care, Cricket.
We have the spoiled girly movement making things worse. A movement that is full of sex workers and rad femmes who hate men, so they have no problem abusing or manipulating them.
Make your man believe that either your friend, your sister, I don't know, some female that you know is getting treated so well by her boyfriend, by her partner, by her husband. Oh, he just bought her this and that. See, how men are is competitive.
I'm gonna be honest. Is it that much of a surprise that she got cheated on? Like, looking at her behavior, looking at the type of men she's likely into, is it a surprise? Are we surprised? Really? Are we really surprised by this?
They're very competitive. So if you tell a man that your friend is being taken care like this, then their competitive nature comes up and they're like, okay, this is what I'm competing with.
Okay, if you want to compare me to other men and...
You know how a relationship fails? Comparing your relationship to other relationships. That is also a killer of relationships, not gonna lie.
Talk about how they're better than me, then I'm going to tell you about how all of your friends are more attractive than you, just so I can activate your competitive nature and turn...
No, that would end your relationship, too. Very true, though. Like, if that gap move gets pulled... Hey, I gotta pull that move. Equal rights here. Nah, that's just... Both are not okay.
Turn you into the best version of yourself. So this is sort of the modus operandi of how these spoiled girly princess treatment channels like the Wizard Liz operate. They run under the guise of women's self-improvement with videos like, study yourself to become confident, or how to become extremely seductive, which granted sometimes make decent points, but those decent points are mixed in with some of the most toxic relationship advice, where not only do people like the Wizard Liz make women undateable, but will also actively give advice designed to poison relationships that are already ongoing and may be perfectly fine.
And if you are already in a relationship and your partner, he didn't spoil you yet and you want him to start spoiling you, just tell him like, hey, I really would appreciate it if you gave me some money, like an allowance, sort of small if he has never ever spoiled you. Like, oh, say like, oh, can you pay like for my car to get it fixed?
You also where that leads to, this idea of getting spoiled, you know where that leads to? Not every man who is in a relationship has that much of an, you know, expendable income. So, if you act like this, and a man falls for it, and later, you realize that he can't provide more because you already take too much, that relationship's dead too. We live in reality. Some people can't afford spoiling each other. Hello, good day.
Oh, so you want a little allowance from your boyfriend like you're a 10-year-old. Okay, I'm a believer in equality, so if we're going to make the relationship completely transactional and I'm now required to do extra, what are you going to do extra in return? Nothing. The answer is nothing. These women think their presence around you is inherently valuable, so they shouldn't have to be pleasant or do anything nice for you if you get them that Gucci bag. And not to say that the manosphere doesn't preach similarly toxic relationship values under the guise of...
Oh yeah, they do it as well. They do it as well. They do it as well. Girl just wants a young sugar daddy, not a partner. Yeah, too bad their sugar daddies don't exist.
Self-improvement content. But the problem with both is that they're lying to you and selling you a fantasy of what the opposite sex is like or should be like because they know it will make them money. In the case of the manosphere, women should permanently have their mouth sewed up and let you cheat on them all the time. And if you're a spoiled...
Bro, I hate... like, when I sometimes hear, like, these dudes from Fresh and Fit be like, oh, I'm not gonna be monogamous. I'm not gonna be loyal. I'm gonna have multiple women next to you. And I'm like, okay, so you're not loyal. What in fact do you have? Like, what in fact do you have except, like, the core thing of a man, of a high-value man, as you like to call it, or as I see it at least, is loyalty. If you have no loyalty as a man, you're useless. You're straight up useless. You're useless in a relationship. You're likely useless in a friendship, because if you cheat in a relationship, you definitely betray your friends. That's for sure. I'm not gonna trust you. Straight up. Like, you're worth as if you cheat as a man or a woman, you are worthless.
Well, girly, then you need a golden retriever man who is in his divine masculine and showers you with money constantly. Well, here's your golden retriever. Anyway, I've been pretty outspoken in multiple videos about how I think the gold digger trend is very toxic, is poisoning women, and is making them not worth marrying or even asking out on a date. So in response to that, several months ago, women started going into my videos that were about the wizard Liz and said, "You're so wrong. Liz is engaged now and is about to get married. You're just jealous because she's happy."
Well, those comments backfired heavily. And also I have to say, with this whole cheating situation going on, and I have to be honest here, I don't fucking care. So many women get cheated on. So many men get cheated on. I don't and women crash out over her getting cheated on, saying all men aren't shit. And I'm like, what exactly makes this case so special? Like, what makes this case special? Yes, exactly. Nothing. Plenty male celebrities get cheated on. There's no crash out like that. Plenty of female celebrities get cheated on. Even then, there's not a crash out like that. It's just because of her.
This is not clickbait. It's very real. I am getting married and I am engaged. My fiance is Landon, born and raised in Texas, Dallas, Texas. He's 25. He's 1 month older than me. This situation just proves to me even more how I'm always being guided and how you have to look out for the signs in life, and how manifestation and setting your energy onto something.
Well, should have manifested a loyal husband. Well, you should have manifested a loyal husband. How about that? You should have tried to attract that. Oh, but you're only loyal to money, I forgot. Honestly, she's always been polarizing for once she had everyone supporting her. That didn't last long, though. Yep.
Really attractive.
So she's engaged to a 25-year-old Texas guy named Landon, and they're such a great couple. Look, they film TikToks together. They also go on trips to Japan to see Jujutsu Kaisen, look at Hello Kitty merch, and shop at the Gucci store.
So me and Landon are shopping in Gucci right now. He said I can get whatever I want.
They also really seem to speak highly of each other.
The one thing I love the most about Landon is how smart he is. Like, this is no joke. His brain is like insane. If I were to describe a man that really knows how to be a man in a non-toxic way and knows how to respect a woman, I would literally describe you.
The Wizard Liz is the most beautiful girl in the entire world. The dad.
They look like they're perfect for each other, and the fans love it as we get to see a different side of Liz, who is happy instead of stuck up and angry all the time like she usually is in her videos.
I want to film a TikTok.
Okay, what are we doing?
So, I have to introduce to you guys my current husband. So we met in...
Wait, your current husband?
Yes.
No, baby. No, I'm your forever husband.
No, that's factual. You have to talk factual because they don't understand, you know?
So
You have to say, like, currently, right now.
But you're...
Well, he currently what? I mean, accurate. He currently is. Or he currently, in this moment, he currently was. Accurate. Accurate. Very accurate. His brain is like insane, woman. Your inability to describe a true appreciation for intellect is telling, for real.
You're currently and forever my wife.
I mean, you can't argue with the results. She did end up getting married to her current husband. It looks like I've been wrong about the gold digger trend, and there are golden retriever guys out there who are in their perfect divine masculine, just waiting to swoop in and get a girl like Liz. And they've been married for a while at this point, so why don't we just take a look at Liz's Instagram and see how that's going. Here's a story that says, Landon decided to make a Snapchat account and reach out to a girl to meet up. He called the relationship fake. Meanwhile, my cats are with him in Dallas in our apartment, and oh, I'm 4 months pregnant. Wow, he made moves to cheat on her in record.
The worst thing about this is the kid. The worst thing about this, the only one who gets severely punished by this is the kid. Because two mongoloids thought that building a transactional relationship and having a child in said transactional relationship would actually last. That is what infuriates me the most. It's the kid.
Time. They weren't even together for a year. Liz found out because the girl Landon was texting contacted her, and the rest is history. At some point, the messages were posted to Landon's Instagram account. It's hard to tell what happened with high accuracy because these two keep deleting their social media posts, but I think people are saying that Liz got access to his account and then posted pictures of the girl's phone. The messages start out with Landon asking if this girl is still in Dallas. I'm guessing this is someone he has known for a while, and immediately she is standoffish. He then says, "Do you have plans?" And she responds with, "Aren't you married?" That's when he starts saying that the marriage is fake and he is looking for friends that are female to hang out with that he believes are single while Liz is away in a different country. Landon continues to spend several messages saying that he and Liz are not legally married.
Of course. You know my opinion on cheaters, right? You actually absolutely know my opinion on cheaters. They deserve to get shot, but that's besides the point. He's a piece of shit for real, though. Just as much. I mean, she went for his money, he went for her body, but that started to change, and he sought it elsewhere. Correct. Correct.
Which I'm going to choose to believe because they didn't have a wedding. They haven't really talked about the marriage process at all. And Liz has been pretty open about the fact that she is okay with lying to people to boost her reputation.
Do not tell a man that your exes treated you badly. The way men think is, I have to do a little bit more than the ex.
Wait, oh, this is typical TikTok woman. No man cares about you getting treated badly and goes, "Oh, I need to up this man now," or goes like, "I just have to treat her a little bit better." No, these people make this way too complicated. These people make this way too complicated. No man thinks like that. Okay, there might be some moron who thinks like that, but the vast majority of men don't think like that. Where is she getting that from?
That way I'm like a little better. So if you tell him, "Oh, my ex used to beat me up and abuse me," then he will think, "Oh, okay, if I just don't abuse her, I'm the good guy." Okay? So what I recommend...
You quite literally are. You're at least better than that dude. Congratulations.
You do is always tell him, "Oh yeah, my exes, they always used to take care of me. Like I was always financially taken care of," all these things. You have to tell a man that. And maybe later down the line when you're already in a relationship, you can tell him like how it really was if you want to tell about your exes and you can open up. But especially in the beginning stages when you guys are dating, do not say this.
Right, great. So you think it's okay to misrepresent yourself in a relationship until a person is too emotionally attached to say otherwise.
Yeah, let's just lie. That's a great start to start a relationship. That's a great start. That's a great start. Oh, can we play that further? Does that mean that if somebody's trans, they don't have to disclose that until the other half is emotionally attached enough? Like, you could spin this idea into some horrible things. No.
And Landon just gave back the same energy that you give to men by misrepresenting himself until you had strong emotional attachments. That seems fair to me, but the fans are pretty upset about this whole thing.
I'm convinced that all men cheat at this point. Just woke up to the most devastating news. The wizard Liz just posted that her fiance Landon cheated on her while she is 4 months pregnant.
I'm so totally freaked out.
Oh my fucking God, I'm literally shaking. Like, fuck men at this point. Literally fuck men. Men literally have no boundaries.
Now, despite Liz's fans,
that is nothing. That is nothing. Again, I don't get why these women crash out in that way. I don't see that. Like I said, it does not make sense to me that suddenly all men. That makes no sense. Again, that's like would be if men pulled the same movie, it'd be weird. He's just a piece of shit. That's very simple.
Fans being upset. Honestly, I have no sympathy for her at all. I mean, I feel bad for the child that these two retards produced. I'm sorry that he or
that is how I see it. I feel really bad for the child because two retards came together and made a baby. That should have never happened. These people should have never come together. 100%. He's a piece of shit for cheating. She's a piece of shit for spreading toxic advice and being overall just not a person that should ever be in a relationship.
But the reason I don't feel bad for Liz is because of all the terrible and sociopathic advice that she gives. Like that time she told her audience to break up with the guy if their relationship is too comfortable or too stable. Well, you wanted some instability and you're okay with lying to people, so this...
Yeah, that's the exact reason why she's a piece of shit. She gives advice that is going to ruin people's relationships if they would apply it. Nope.
This is what you get. Enjoy the chaos. Speaking of investment, Liz goes on to say in her Instagram story that she will be selling her $100,000 engagement ring. But to go even further, Liz edited some of the descriptions of her Instagram videos, and one of the edits says that he spent almost $1 million on her throughout the relationship. Holy shit. I believe they were together for only 10 months. I mean, who screwed over who? Not to say that cheating isn't bad, but I do want to point out the fact that Liz can just rattle off that number means she is constantly tallying up what people have done for her, and relationships to her are just completely transactional. And this favor counting is something that you can see her doing in a lot of her videos.
I used to also be the person where I go above and beyond for people's birthdays and whatever, and I really put so much effort into doing that, and then I realized when it comes to my birthday, these same friends of mine wouldn't do the same thing for me at all. Like, it was so disrespectful, and I felt so bad because I was like, I put so much effort into your birthday, you don't feel the same way about me. So I stopped doing that. Now I give them what they give me.
A little life advice, guys. If you only do things purely because you want something in return,
that's not a good idea. That's not again. That's a really selfish approach. I don't see that.
Then you're going to find yourself around a lot of shallow and awful people. Liz is very self-centered, and the reason she constantly complains about having bad relationship partners and bad friends is because she doesn't actually consider the needs of others. She only does things for people because she wants something from them.
Yep. And that can never go well. Like, that just never goes well. Because people can tell when you give them bad energy. They can tell. Like, I can tell when something's wrong, and also sometimes it's just like, sometimes I just can't give you what you were asking for. So if you only give me what I give you.
And this is what I mean when I say that Liz gives a lot of awful advice that will pathologize the audience into being terrible relationship material, or just flat out blackpill them with how people treat her because of her bad choices. When the reality is that the reason why this stuff happened to Liz is not because men are evil, it's because she's not that good of a partner or a friend from a moral standpoint, and because she is terrible at recognizing a number of red flags. In fact, originally I was going to say this stuff back when she announced the engagement, but I chose to make a video on a different gold digger named Manifestel instead. I typically don't like doing topics back-to-back that are too similar. That being said, there were just so many weird things about how Liz described Landon from a guy's perspective. But before we go back to the engagement video, let's talk about Landon's backstory. How did he get his money? Well, he began as a Minecraft YouTuber and then moved to Fortnite.
Minecraft YouTubing.
What a pipeline! Okay, he is a YouTuber. Okay.
Yep, that's an additional charge, buddy. Now we gotta charge you with cringe as well.
Let's just look at his most popular videos, and number 4, giving Pokimane the Galaxy skin in Fortnite. From a few years back.
I'm gonna send him 15. I'm gonna say, hey Pokey, I don't know if this donut will pop up, but I have a surprise for you. All right, so send it in the dono. Will this thing even pop up? Oh,
bro is sending money to Pokimane. Lock him away. Lock him away. Nah.
I think that's my dono.
Hey Pokey, DIDK, if this dono will pop up, but I have a surprise for you, _carrot.
I'm dying of secondhand cringe here. He's all nervous about his donation, and she has a face that says WTF when she sees it. I know he's like 19 or 20 here, but he seems to still be buying women as his main strategy, so I think it's still relevant. This is so pathetic. He's supposed to be like friends with her, but he has to donate to her stream to get her attention before he can call her?
All right, so there's 2 ways I can give this to you. I can either, first way, I could log into your account, probably not the best thing, or I could...
How could Homie get that chick? Not gonna lie, from the way he looks though. How did Homie get that chick? It's gotta be the money. It's gotta be the money.
Mail it to you.
Okay, I think it's better to mail it just because because I don't know if it's, I don't want to get banned by Epic. I don't know if you're allowed to account share.
Could you send me your address? Would you mind?
Yes, I will message it to you right now.
Okay, awesome, dope. Wow, was I nervous, dude. I'm such a nervous wreck, man. Okay.
Liz, come on. You got engaged to a tier 3 Pokimane simp? Holy shit. I thought she had high standards. I mean, it's not like she didn't know about this video. It's at the top of the list. I know how women like to become little detectives and snoop on the people they're in a relationship with, and I don't blame them for doing that. They're just trying to make sure they aren't dating some crazy stalker. But okay, now that we know a little bit more about Landon, let's talk about the obvious red flags. For starters, let's do some math. The relationship was roughly 10 months long, and she said she was 4 months pregnant, meaning they decided to have a baby after only dating for like 6 months. Like I said, these two are very stupid. This was a very irresponsible choice for two people who barely know each other. The second thing we can do some math on is the fact that the engagement was announced 7.5 months before the breakup, meaning they got engaged like 2 or so months after getting together. Now, let me clarify this for the normies who don't research TikTok for a living. There's this trend where TikTok girls say, if he wanted to, he would, which is sort of a way of shaming guys for being in a relationship for like 5 years without...
Also, I hate this take. If he wanted to, he would. That is a shitty take. You know why it is? You know why it is? Because what if both of you think that way? Then nobody's going to.
Without proposing. And I mean, fair enough, women shouldn't be burning major segments of their young life waiting for a ring. But oftentimes the if he wanted to, he would mentality is used as a justification for super quick engagements just to have the title of wife, and not because the relationship is good. So as a warning to people who are young, it takes time to get to know someone. Anyone can put up a facade for a few weeks or a few months, but once you hit that 6-month point or that year point, it gets pretty difficult to pretend to be someone else. So you should be waiting for at least that long before a proposal.
Yeah, you should take your time with the proposal. Don't jump into a relationship way too quickly. Wait for the proposal. You gotta wait. You gotta wait. Because if you don't, that's gonna be troublesome.
And longer if you're under 25. This is all important to point out because my first reaction to Landon when I heard about the engagement last year was, this guy is nuts and he's not mentally stable. In the engagement video, Liz describes how they texted a couple times over the past 3 years and finally got together after randomly seeing each other at the airport. Here's the story of that airport encounter.
All of a sudden, I decided, let me book a trip to Santorini with...
There, the engagement is real. The engagement is real. Just not the marriage. So there we have it. The engagement is real, not the marriage.
My friends, we had a flight to Santorini, but there was a stop in Athens because I had booked last minute and all the flights were full. Okay, they were full. So me and my friends, we go to the airport, and mind you guys, I'm wearing a cap that's like up until here. You can barely see, you can see like this of my nose, and I'm wearing a mask, okay? No one could recognize me. I think probably people couldn't even recognize what gender I was. I'm walking in the airport and we stop in Athens. Me and my friend, we quickly go get like some food and stuff. Me and her were sitting and I'm like, I pulled the mask a little bit just to eat my food. This is how much you can see of my face, okay? Like nothing. I'm sitting and all of a sudden I hear Liz. I look up and I'm like, Landon? And guys, I do not know how he recognized me. I do not know how I recognized him. I've never seen this guy in my life, never in real life. I don't know what he looks like, and he definitely didn't look like how he used to look 3 years before. That's the only time I saw his picture. So he's like, yeah, I'm going back to America, but he's like, I forgot my bag where you were sitting. That's why I came back for my bag. And then he starts telling me about why he's there, because he lives in America. Like, what are the odds of us meeting each other in an airport in Athens? What are the odds, guy? Like, I don't live in Europe. He lives in America. Like, that's crazy. Guys, can you imagine the coincidence here?
Okay, so basically she lived in Greece. Okay, interesting. And he's from the States. Makes sense, because that's where he came from.
You know, look how divinely guided that is.
Liz, this guy is so obviously stalking you. That was immediately my first thought when I heard this.
Yeah, now that he mentions that, yeah, that's kind of creepy, because how would that even work? Like, how would that even work? Yeah, how would that even work? Yeah, that seems kind of stalker-like. Yeah, that's a little creepy. Of course, by some off chance, you know, it could be, with a really, really small chance, it could be that he just that he just popped out of nowhere. Is Poga mad at me? No, I'm not. Why would I be? But yeah, that's an odd coincidence.
This story several months ago, and apparently everyone else thought that too. Like, that is a crazy number of random chance events occurring together. They both happen to be traveling on the same day to a random part of the world where neither of them live. They both randomly got connecting flights at the same airport at the same time. He randomly recognizes her despite the fact that she is completely covered. I mean, these are movie levels of unlikely events occurring together. Doctor Strange gives a better chance for the Avengers beating Thanos than the actual odds of Landon seeing Liz on that day by chance. I mean, I am surprised that this wasn't a huge red flag for someone who is a public figure. And if there's one thing I know about women on the internet, it's that they always have stalkers who know an uncomfortable amount of information about them. Probably the biggest privilege of being a male on the internet is that you don't have to deal with this anywhere near to the extent that women do. And the fact that Landon was a Pokimane simp and the painted fingernails makes it even more.
Yeah, I don't really care that he painted fingernails, but real. The Pokimane fan, the Pokimane simp, that's kind of an L. That's kind of an L.
More suspicious. I don't know, maybe she didn't see that he's a stalker because her therapist is a BetterHelp therapist.
I would love to mention that BetterHelp is a paid partner of this video.
I want to say,
oh no, she made ads for BetterHelp. Did you not even look at that like that? BetterHelp does not give you help. BetterHelp does not give you help. It's actually just a bunch of people running the website or the platform, and they're not even licensed, psychologists and shit.
a huge thank you to BetterHelp. BetterHelp.
Jokes aside, Liz, did you even watch this video back after you posted it? Again, I'm not the only one who said this guy sounded like a stalker, and a part of the reason why is stuff like this.
I felt like my whole life was falling apart, and I even uploaded about it. You guys saw me crashing out on my YouTube channel. Even people were commenting like, this girl is losing her mind, this and that, and I truly felt like I was losing my mind.
She's saying this crash out happened after a breakup. Great, so now he knows that you're emotionally vulnerable and single, which makes you the perfect victim to be manipulated. This is why he started mirroring all of her beliefs and saying exactly what she wanted to hear when he talked to her at the airport.
And what's even crazier is, like, he told me like stories where he was like, Liz, I think I really...
This gives me, I'm not mad, dear. This gives me, she's a piece of shit because she gives toxic advice and she is toxic, but he cheats and is a stalker and manipulator. I don't know. Again, there's a chance that he's a stalker, but I don't know. Of course, like I said, movie level, like there's a chance that it could actually happen, right? But the chance is so significantly slim that I don't know. It's just odd.
Really manifested you, because he was like, when I used to go through breakups or whatever, I used to tell my best friend, it doesn't matter that I'm going through this breakup because there's still women like the Wizard Liz out there. And he was like, you were literally in my head the ideal woman ever since I saw you online. And guys, for me, the exact thing that I wrote down in the manifestation journal of how I want my husband to be and all these things.
Bro, I feel like, okay, there's some stuff in there. There's some huge problems in information that we do not have. Here's Crockrock. Hi, Crockrock. How are you doing? Hope you're doing good. Hello. Mutually assured destruction of YouTuber stories all this time. Very much true. These people are, maybe these people are made for each other in a way.
Is literally my fiance. Like, to a T. Even the thing about emotional intelligence and knowing how to be deep.
You've got to be kidding me, Liz. If a guy says, I manifested you, and you don't see that as a massive red flag, then you are beyond help. Any guy who's into that manifestation bullshit is either gay or trying to manipulate you. Clearly, he is just watching your videos and mirroring back exactly what you want to hear. That's why you said he fits you perfectly. All he had to do was watch your videos, memorize your interest, and pretend to be that person. It's not even that time-consuming to watch everything you've made on YouTube. When I did my first piece of content on you,
Very true. Like, it would now that he mentions this, it would be really easy for some dudes in a certain position to get access to these women because they post what they want online. Maybe that must so teaches a lesson that you shouldn't post online what type of person you want to be in a relationship, so others don't use that to get an advantage.
I was able to watch and timestamp 30 of your videos, which was every YouTube video that you had at the time, in just a couple of days. Imagine what a stalker can do with a couple of years. Though the best part of all of this is that now everyone can clearly see the advice that she gives about men is dog shit.
I need women to understand that men will say they want good women, but good women never get rewarded. It's always like, oh, I want a day one girl. I want a girl that has been there from the beginning. But those women get literally later on cheated on.
That's ironic. That's ironic. You picked the dude that was already there. You picked the dude that was already there and still got cheated on. Guess that rewards doesn't reward you either. Or is it just that bad people cheat, no matter the bank account?
Why is this? Because that's not the woman they want. That's the only woman they can get right now. Once they are at a level where they have the money, they want to spend their money on the fantasy woman, on the woman that they actually want. If you feel bad asking a man for anything, then you should think, if a man took out his celebrity crush, do you think that he would just take her out on a coffee date or something simple? No, best believe he would go all out trying to impress.
I think celebrity crushes are silly. I don't have a celebrity crush. Not that I think about it, no, because I don't really are interested in any celebrities. It is what it is.
His celebrity crush. Why are you anything less?
It seems like that's not the case because he still cheated on you, Liz. And if you don't want to become a single mother by 2 different men, then maybe you should focus more on the guy's character than whether he took you on a coffee date or not. I mean, from a practical standpoint, do you want your future husband to just be burning cash on random chicks that he's dating for a few months at a time? Or do you want the guy who goes on a coffee date and saves his wealth for his wife and his kids? This is why I say you should avoid women like Liz like the plague. They don't know anything about stable relationships. They just know, I want these shoes from Hermes. I swear this chick thinks like a prostitute. To make matters worse, 3 days or so before Liz found out that Landon was trying to cheat on her.
I mean, I can see that, kind of, yeah. Yeah, I can see that. There is the same, trail of thought of a prostitute, sure.
On her, they released this relationship Q&A to give marriage advice to her YouTube followers, as if these 2 tards know anything about that. They haven't even been together for a year, and they weren't even legally married. But during this video, she insists that he wasn't stalking her, so let's hear her rebuttal as well as his side of the story.
And the thing I want to clarify, because a lot of people think that you stalked me.
Which is crazy, by the way. First got engaged and Liz posted that video, there were some comments that were like, I think this guy is like an upper stalker.
Her.
He like knew where she was gonna be.
My friend does not have social media. Like, she doesn't have Instagram, and I never ever post my location for safety reasons. So no way he could have known I'm in Athens, and especially there.
Oh, you naive child. I'm not going to be specific because I don't feel the need to give internet stalkers any ideas, but you can definitely make this happen with very little information on someone if you have the kind of money that Landon has, and if you have some patience. Seeing that you guys talked before, he probably would have enough of your personal info to pull this off. And let this be a warning to all the princess treatment girlies out there. People who are rich.
Fun fact, aren't there literally websites where you can... Weird, yeah, for real. Aren't there literally websites where you can stalk somebody through surveillance cameras? I think with a good enough amount of money, you could certainly find anybody. That's rude. You can criticize her, but you don't call her a prostitute. You can just call her by her name. That's wrong. No, he didn't call her a prostitute. He just said that that's the same thought trail. Difference.
It can do a lot of crazy and unhinged things with their money. It can get very scary to attach yourself to someone with that much power if they turn out to be a nut job. So maybe consider that more than if he's willing to buy you whatever you want from Gucci or not.
I was just kind of following this path that led me into Ibiza last summer. And I ended up meeting some people that I was going to go to Mykonos with. And the people that I was staying with ended up trying to scam me a couple times. They successfully scammed like $20-something thousand. And whenever I landed in Athens, which is where I was connecting to go to Mykonos, that whole trip got canceled, like that part of it.
Also, we don't really know. She said that she never posted her location or anything. However, she is a girly, and girlies like to post pictures on Instagram, on social media. So she doesn't necessarily need to give her location. She just has to post a picture with somebody in something in the background that could potentially be recognizable.
Dead. And I was like, you know what? Time to end my trip, go back to America. I went to go get my bags off the plane so they didn't go to Mykonos without me, and I realized I had left my backpack in a gate in airport security. And so I was like, wait, I really need that. I never lose this bag. So I went to go get my backpack. I get my bag. I start walking to leave the airport. And as I'm walking, I try to be observant, but I'm like looking around, and then I walked a step and I felt like I entered just like a new dimension, not to sound crazy. And then immediately I sensed that I need to look up right over here, and I look up and I see Liz.
Bro is speaking Japanese. We do not believe that. I kind of don't believe you that. Bro is speaking nonsense. Yeah, sorry, you don't feel that somebody is close by near you. No, I don't think so. Yeah, I think there's something fishy going on. I don't trust this man at all. If somebody speaks like that, nah. I don't trust him. At all. Like I said, obviously, you never know. There could be some truth to it. But this seems way too outlandish.
Sitting, she has a hat on, she had like a mask basically covering her face, she was eating food, so like I can't even really see her. She's sitting by her friend, and I thought, oh my god, that's Liz. And I recognized you. I had no idea, like I had never seen you before in person.
And I remember he was like, Liz?
Okay, so his version of the story sounds way more like stalking than what she said. Some random scammer tries to mess with him, his trip gets canceled, and because of that, he's free. And he forgot his backpack. Well, of course he forgot his backpack because Liz wasn't at the gate she was supposed to be at, so he needed an excuse to walk throughout the airport to go look for her.
But in my head, I like adored you, to be honest. Like every time that you would send me a message, I got just uniquely excited. The first time you ever sent me a voice message, I remember I was in the LA airport trying to fly home to Dallas, and I got a voice message from you, and that like really stuck with me, and I always thought about you in airports for some reason. So
ironically, this idealization statement about airports occurs immediately before Liz denies the stalking allegations, and she doesn't connect the dots. And let me point out that Landon also has some sort of tech startup company for VR glasses or whatever. So if anyone is good enough with technology to know how to find out,
yeah, there's evidence pointing to him being that's okay.
where Liz was flying, it would be Landon.
there was a moment where I was wanting to have more friends that were like-minded, more people in my life that are interested in manifestation and aware of energies and all of this. And so in my head, like Liz was that person, and I wanted to just be friends with you, to be honest. And I told you that right away. I was like, hey, I'm trying to be, like, I want to be friends.
Yeah.
I mean, you also just wanted to be friends with that girl from Snapchat that you tried to meet up with.
You're also very honest.
Don't worry, in 3 days she'll see the irony of that statement.
Yeah, very honest to that girl. Very, very honest to that girl, definitely.
So Liz and Landon had this conversation after a very unlikely meeting. He says a bunch of nice things that she wants to hear, and since his plans were canceled, she invites him to stay with her in Greece. And then 36 hours into the stay, he says that he loves her.
You know, it's really hard to be vulnerable with anybody, especially if you've been shown time and time again that vulnerability is something that gets you hurt. And so, yeah, intimacy is directly, a necessity of intimacy is vulnerability.
Yeah, he really taught me that. Who said I love you first?
Oh my God. I told this woman that I loved her within 36 hours of no.
Yeah, nah, that is creepy. Nah, that is so creepy. That is so fucking creepy. Landon's a danger to himself and society. Tier 3 Pokemon sub aside. Okay. Bro, that is so... Nah, okay. There's something fishy going on out here.
Knowing her, and I told, like, I literally told her within 36 hours, I was like, look, this is gonna sound like a lot, and I'm sorry, because I know it's weird, but I know I'm supposed to marry you, and that's weird as heck, but...
Yeah.
I thought you just wanted to be friends. We go from friends to let's get married in less than 2 days. That's a really fast-moving friendship. I mean, at that speed, he could have been married to that Snapchat chick by the time that Liz got back from London. The fact that this wasn't a red flag to Liz means that she really doesn't know anything about relationships. It makes sense why she gives so much terrible advice for how to select partners. It's even worse because she said she was going to therapy. Did she tell her therapist about this? Did she tell anyone about her relationship who could have said, hey, maybe this isn't such a good idea? It looks like she didn't. It looks like she wanted the title of wife so badly that not only did she lie to her audience about being married, but also felt like it was okay to rush through any safety measure that would prevent a relationship with an abuser. So after everything went down, Landon went onto his Instagram to say his piece about the cheating event.
Look, I'm not going to come on here and ask for your forgiveness. I'm just going to come on here and ask for understanding. Because...
What do you mean understanding? You cheated. Face the wall, homie. What do you mean you cheated?
I made a mistake. But
cheating is not a mistake. That is a deliberate decision that you just don't make once, you make it multiple times. Every text message that you have the intention of talking to somebody in a non-friendly way, in a sexual way, with sexual intention, that is cheating every single time. You could have said no. You still did not. I cannot keep his pants, bro. Reaching out to everyone. Pokemon Liz, Instagram models, Snapchat girls. Those also exist. I got a shiny little Leo. Nice. Congratulations.
that doesn't mean that I don't love Liz.
Cap.
I love her with my entire heart.
Cap.
And we have a baby on the way. And over the last 10 months, I have done everything I can to give this person all that I can and to make her happy and do all of this. And regardless of how much I care, I made a mistake. I love Liz more than I could even put words to, and I have shown I've shown her this, and I've tried my best to make her feel safe and happy and protected, and I'm taking accountability regardless. This is not something that I want to promote or make seem like I identify with. This is not who I want to be, and I'm sorry.
Bro is trying to give an apology while trying to look like a Marvel villain. But this relationship wasn't even a year old. You weren't even past the honeymoon phase, and you're already looking for other women. I don't think an apology can be accepted right now. This is who you are. You aren't fit for a relationship. Well, I don't think...
Yeah, you are for real not. You are not ready for... Nah, actually, he's never ready for a relationship. I don't think cheaters... If you cheat once, you should never get into access to a relationship ever again. No matter how good of a person you now say you are after a few years, I still don't think you should get into a relationship. You should be put, like, on the list of, like, cheater. And then the offense, what you did. Did you sleep with somebody? Did you text somebody? I don't care. Put them on the list with name. Full legal name.
I don't think that Liz is fit for one either. But I guess in this case, she is the more innocent party. Anyway, everyone thought that this part of the Q&A was funny.
But I would say it's not a great message. It's honestly a toxic message. This thing I've seen people saying of like, oh, you can never trust a man. Like, never trust your husband. Like, he may just cheat on you. You never know. It's like...
What the heck? That's hilarious. He did... Never, he's gonna cheat on you. Well, you kinda did.
At the end of the day, the man and the woman have to be trusting each other. It's not a good partnership if the person is going to choose someone else over you. Like, that defeats the whole point. But forgiveness is a big thing. So if you have ever had a trust issue come up, you gotta learn how to forgive and work through that. Otherwise, that'll just turn into crippling insecurity that you suffer with.
Depends what the trust issue was. If the person is like texting other people.
Yeah, well, there's different like degrees of severity.
This is hilarious. This is hilarious. No, let's be honest. He has not slept with that woman, as far as I'm aware. There was no physical intimacy, as much as I'm aware. But he did try to meet up with another woman. That's what is confirmed.
For sure.
Man, this is like watching a movie where you already know who the killer is. There's so much foreshadowing where Landon tells on himself by accident. Though on a more serious note, I think one of the girls following this had some pretty good advice.
People are idolizing Liz and saying things like, oh my god, she's such a goddess, she seems to have it all, so if a woman like her gets cheated on, it means that I'm probably doomed and I've lost hope in love and men will never be loyal to me. Here is the thing, idolization is an ego trick. It is a way we try to soothe our own fear, our own imperfections by placing someone else on a pedestal. Because if they seem too perfect, then you would think that perfection is possible. If they fall, we get to give up too. But that is not growth, that is escapism. And the truth here is, I don't think that anyone is perfect at all. Not Liz, not your favorite influencer, not your favorite celebrity, not even you.
Yeah, Liz is not a goddess. She was a dumb 22-year-old who got a bunch of plastic surgery because she knows that people care far more about her appearance than they care about whatever advice she's giving. But for me, these days, it's getting harder and harder for me to relate to the viewer on this because I've been in this business long enough to see that creators are just regular messed up people.
Yeah, who would have guessed that most of these creators are just giving themselves as perfect? We don't know these people IRL. That is just the truth. The thing is this, that the men she's going for are not known to be particularly loyal. It's just the harsh truth. And if any woman tries to go for the same caliber of man, she's gonna have the same experience.
Just like the people that you know in your personal life, except everyone treats them like they're gods. This is a mistake. Like that girl said, content creators are not perfect. They are just as flawed and messed up as you are, often more messed up because they were crazy enough to think that tons of people would want to hear what they have to say. As for Liz, I think she misrepresents a lot of stuff about herself, and I don't think people should take it lightly when she tells her followers to lie to their significant other so they can fleece them for more money. I think Liz thinks that way for a reason, and as I said in a prior video, I'm pretty certain that Liz was a sex worker before she got famous. In fact, sex workers...
Okay, where's that information? Bro, what? Okay, I need that stuff. Gimme.
seem to be extremely common in the spoiled girly influencer crowd. More specifically, I think Liz was a sugar baby, and to summarize a prior video on why I think that, I believe this is the case because she had a very weird story about how she met her first boyfriend at 19, and he was a multimillionaire, which probably means that he was 10, 20, 30 years older than her. And she and her sister admitted on a podcast before the engagement to Landon that she was dating guys who were a lot older. The more suspicious part is that she said she didn't really have any access to wealth in her home country, so how would she meet a man who could fly her out to Dubai with that kind of money? Well, a sugar baby website like Seek an Arrangement would make that very simple. If that's not enough evidence, she also said during the Q&A that all of her exes were ugly.
Oh, I love the way you look. Oh my god, guys.
There is certain evidence definitely there that she... Oh, well, that explains even more. Oh, no. Well, here we have it. Right, there's zero perfect people out there. Yep. Oh, no.
Guys, for the first time in my life, someone told me that my partner looks good. I'm not used to people telling me that my partner looks good at all, because I really don't go for looks in a partner. That's the least thing.
You go for the... You go for the bank account. We know. We can tell.
I ever have cared about.
She's like,
something crazy happened.
The craziest thing ever. Like, somebody just told me that you're handsome.
But
I realized that you're handsome now. I was like,
No, I knew you were handsome, but I always think that my partners are handsome. Mm-hmm. But no one else thinks that.
She thinks they were attractive because they were buying her $20,000 handbag.
Yeah. Does being a sugar baby count as sex work? I guess it's sex work without calling it sex work. I guess, like, realistically, what would these 30, 40, 50-year-old dudes, what would these older men realistically get from such a young woman? Like, it could only be sex. I guess you could book her for, whatever, right? Maybe you need a good-looking, what's the word? Like a person to go to an event. Maybe I could see how she could be doing that. But aside from that, I don't know what could she even provide. other than that.
After that, Landon says this.
I think this is your
that.
first real relationship, to be honest.
But for me, like, the relationship I had before that,
Yeah, this doesn't look good. There's a solid chance. Yeah, there's a solid chance.
that I saw as like my first real relationship, because that was the first time I spent every day with a man. Our relationship was like really not.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, there's a good chance. There's a solid chance.
Like how it's supposed to be.
It wasn't
like
really
now
emotionally there. Yeah.
We were both emotionally very cold, so there was no kissing, there was no like hugging, there was not really nice words. It was more like a best friend type of relationship where you're just hanging out.
That is
Okay. If we trust what she's saying, then there was no sleeping around involved, at least that way.
weird as hell. I'm guessing she didn't want to touch them because she wasn't actually interested. She just wanted their money. So yeah, a lot of weird stuff around Liz. I don't think she gets attention from rich men because her energy is vibrating at a high level. I think she gets attention from them because she's a sex worker. So be careful about idolizing the people you watch online, or be careful about saying that it's all over and all men are evil because of something that happened to an influencer who was being incredibly stupid with how she handled her relationship. Nobody is perfect, everyone is flawed, and the journey of life is trying to make yourself one step better than you were yesterday. Anyway, thanks for watching. Follow me.
Alright, to summarize this whole video, the full summary of this video is practically: two retards get into a relationship, one appears to be a stalker and is a confirmed cheater, the other one gives crazy dating advice online, is toxic as hell, digs her own grave with this type of behavior, gets impregnated by the cheater, which is really interesting, and potentially might be a sex worker. Or was a sex worker, potentially. Very interesting. Very interesting. Yeah, I think all people in this situation suck. Obviously, he sucks a little more because he cheated. Obviously. Again, you know my view on cheaters. Jump. The only person in this entire situation that is truly going to suffer is the child. If she keeps it. It's the child. But yeah. News for the unemployed. Like, comment, and subscribe.